This is old Claude again. And I still have the smile, but I need to talk with you about the saddest day. And this comes from my daughter Deborah, when she thought back about a certain experience that took place between the two of us. It was when I had to wake her after we had been on a little trip somewhere, and she had fallen asleep in the car. And up until that point, I'd always gathered her up and taken her in and put her to her bed. But this time, I had to wake her and say, "Sweetheart, you're going to have to walk in." She said of that was the saddest day in my life. Whimsically and affectionately, she spoke of that. And she would have been about 4 years old, no more than 4 years old, because it happened while we were at the Buckland, Kansas United Methodist Church, and we left in 1974 to move to the Kingman United Methodist Church. But there's such a truth in this, that what this signified for her then, that she was going to have to grow up a little bit and move to the next stage of life. I think of the TV series from the Jeffersons with George Jefferson, and their theme song was "Moving On Up." And so Deborah was having to move on up in maturity as a child, and that really becomes a valid teaching point. We're to go on growing in grace and in the knowledge of Jesus Christ. That's from 2 Peter 3:18. We're to just keep on growing. We're to keep moving up in Him. Now, there are times in our lives when there are certain teachings we cannot bear. Even Jesus told the disciples in John 16:12, "I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now." And this was prior to the crucifixion. And they were having great struggles with this concept. I mean, of his dying. You know, Peter at one time said, "Lord, you can't do this." So he was fussing with the Lord about what was appointed unto the Lord. And so there are things that are appointed unto us that are tough, but they're necessary. Now, 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, there hath no temptation taken you, or trial taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted, tested, or tried beyond that you are able, but also with the temptation make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. And it's kind of like the Lord pushing us forward to let us experience a little heat, or a little pressure, a little more. He knows what we can bear. And we think, now, I can't bear that. That's too much. That's too much for me to bear. And I could almost picture the Lord saying, "Oh, hush. You don't know what you can bear, but I do. And if it gets a little tough, it gets a little hot for you, then I'll back it off just a little bit so that you can handle it." And the idea being that you'll pass through with victory. But God has got to have us grow up and mature in the faith. That's for our good and for His glory, and it's absolutely necessary for the benefit of the church and the world. So, as you have your saddest day, understand that God wants to take you on through it. Blessings on you.